This is day 1030 of the Arukh HaShulchan. Today's Arukh HaShulchan is sponsored by my good friend and chavrusa, Daniel Kislin, Yimali Hashem Eshlosi Tova. We are doing today You're there, Simon Pei Daled. We're still there. Simon Sif Ayin Ches. Pei Daled. A few more days. Simon Sif Ayin Ches through Sif Pei Daled. Eiches, Meise B'Chag Shvus. Meise Shvus Shafu Arbein Hashim Plundas im Rosenkusk. I don't know, plundas, I assume of cake with Russian because we know raisins. Shekana Kulam Mechemani Echad, they bought them all from one storekeeper. Flobakur Russian because me milbin. They didn't check the raisins had bugs on them or not. Bishach has Bodka B'Shalom, one woman checked her own. It saw milbin, she found these milbin. Ubadku Gam Eitzach Chemvani, if checked by a storekeeper, Nitsu Gam, so Gankin milbin. He also had milbin. Russian because in the raisins. Shemem Laku Kulam, which they all purchased. Basaka Megdalim. Paskin Shosim Shkona Kodim Shanim to Amil Ben Eitzel Isha. Those who bought their raisins before this woman found her bugs, or before the storekeeper found the bugs. Yes, Shatim times fake fake. Because it's fake. Safi Shemli Savo Milben Acharkach. Maybe the Milben came afterwards. Painted so much you could going to say there previously Shemli Mochel. Maybe they got dissolved when they were baked. That's the Taz. Chokol of Kam Gedolim, several Gedolim arguing him. The came and Shekulam, Lochel B'Yamechot, since they all bought it one day. Rochok Mod, it's very remote. Lamar to say, Shebizman Muat, and in such a short time, these Sava Milbin, all those worms came into being. Come Yisham, and before they weren't there. But I'm Shecholios came, even though it's possible. We can't come in, I suppose the suffix. Nevertheless, the possibility is not enough to generate one suffix. Lo Sharak suffix, there's only one suffix left. Shemini Mochel, maybe they dissolved, disintegrated. Basurin kola plundis. So all the baked goods are usher that they bought from this the raisins from the storekeeper. That's the pricharash and the kesef. He says the crazy places question is resolved. Whatever that is. V'dai kenhu. That's certainly true. The law in Nimtzai Milbin market so Isha Levada. If you only found the milbin by that woman, that's not milbin. Maybe the milbin came specifically to haunt her. But since found him also by the storekeeper. So the Vade Gami Kodim, they must have been there previously as well. But they bought some days previously, then we can say that they came afterwards. The Ken Misha Barkar is Rosinkus. Those who checked the raisins also did not have lomotzu but they didn't find milbin on them. Feel concept rega chari maisha shemotza milk. They bought at mamish the same moment. A woman who found the milbin bought them. Her plugged in shel kosher. Her baked goods are kosher. Since she checked, meaning the bud was shalom, lodi spashal milbin. So we say she didn't get the milbin. Bein on the chayshos shemelo barka. If we're not considering the milbin, she didn't check properly. The bracket says if a kav chomer migal tamish is ar v'chulei. It's, I guess, a mound which had 2 minutes. Mida Samachav. Sorry, Bana Badik, Magil, Karka, Basura, Bana hold your check until you get to Virgin Rock. And then it's kosher. You don't find anything. It's Torah. I feel like Meirsham. It's not good enough. Find virgin ground. You have to know where the tumor went. Zelk Shulim Sakla Tumah, Shulim Makulim. That's why you don't find a tumor, which you previously knew was definitely there. Of a kind low sugur called risen because shalom miktzas below milbin. Here we don't have a chazak on all the races that there aren't any that didn't have any milbin. For us, we saw them that yud evidence from Psachim, the Rashi and Taisus there that filu meir it's little bit achilas achbar meir where there's a mouse which you can say etel chametz. I say etel chametz. Actually, this is the rabbanon. My assumption that's true. This is the rabbanon. I guess because it's after bittul. Never see it's not clear. Like we said, 5 day mutter v'duk, it's certainly permissible. Ein test. The issue stopping. One can question. Possessions by the shlim shlosh shloim. Yeah, would you say you find 3 worms? With loim, we have to assume it's wormy. If we don't find one person. 3 people bought from one store. Peros, food for chol chamatz tlas. Yisrael found 1 worm. Do we join them together to make all these fruit assumed to be wormy. She was assumed in a chobel particular, which should be also dealing without checking. So they didn't all buy simultaneously. It's meaningless. Close to simultaneously, obviously. One person, they found one fruit, a worm. And they tossed it out. Arukh HaShulchan says sometime later, parents lost, they found another fruit with a worm. So when they tossed that, Arukh HaShulchan, parents lost, and they found another worm with a fruit. Low havel mitzafin kula, we don't join them all together. Unless it's true, clear that they all became wormy while they're still connected to the ground. If it would happen when they were connected to the ground, doesn't matter if it's a one time moment or 3 different times. So from final analysis, you find that these fruits have become wormy while they're connected to the ground. But if they became wormy when they're already severed from the ground, by the time the first one was found, the third one was not yet wormy. And they become wormy after the first. After the first one, then and only then, nisava boy, the third one become wormy. And then but all 3 people, but at the same time, maybe you have to join them together, and aser. That seems primary. Practice here by Mr. Shuvs because Zayim Mashkas Hashem B'Chadas Yor. Vein Zamal Zelish Neshvin Kamuvan. There's not like 2 pathways, obviously. Pleasure Sheyesh L'Klos Be'echad Nisav Al Torah Be'Beso and Mustafin. On the other, it's clear that we can assume that a reason to believe that it happens to one person's household is where the worms develop. We're not going to ask for the others. Avo below said, but without that, find them and Starfin, as soon as join together, the zeal besides time will go after the rationale, which means that there seems to be prevalent worminess. Pei Yeshu Shema, there is one who says, Shein Anashim that must be brias toloi minirachos. Oh boy. And women have to believe in removing worms from vegetables. Sheshma Torah says it's very, very labor intensive. I've shown some kind of the Nashim. But it's the economies to Torah, maybe even though we rely on women in several Torah prohibitions there, but it's something was not so much toil. But there's a lot of toil in Menes. And that is the Shach and name of Rashal. I wonder what the Marashal's wife was going about that. Reish Psachim, Chazal said, B'dikas Chametz, Chim Nu Rabban Nashim Rabban. Says in Psachim, the Rabban only seem to rely on women by the Rabban, B'dikas Chametz. Not by the Raisa and Shom. Actually, the Raisa ain't that much of Sheesh Batir Chamruv of this comment. Sounds like the Raisa. They will not believe which has extra tear, like extra toil, like B'dikas Chametz. First, Yusham is Shom, and it says in Yusham Nation, Nashmat Slani is saying because women are lazy. I'm not saying this. Yushami says this. The famous Meiri, I think, my Chronicles Pesachim says, really, it's supposed to be Atzilos. Women are noble. And since they're noble, they don't actually stoop to certain types of cleaning. But I don't know. In our day and age, women are much more diligent with these things than men. Women are much greater Shemayim than men. I think it's much more different generation, different zeitgeist. Seems we true in the Ramah. It says, by definitely Isser, women are believed. Avo Misavi Isser. But the question is, so she has to separate kosher fish, tray fish and kosher fish, which is what's in kokel, or another issue where there is potential reason to be lenient. Ein isha ne'menes. We don't believe a woman. The daitum kal. She's very readily is makel. Again, this is a different generation now. We're in the exact opposite. Whereas the briras toloim nami yesh kan sveikos can move on. And in checking worms, obviously there are dubious situations. That's not making all the exiles of Israel. All women check the beans, or pears, and the fruits, and the rocks, and the vegetables. Something and they rely on them. That is the Shach's own opinion. And the Ramah. It's not comparable because there it's Ischazik Yisura. So it's harder to be maker when it's a definite Isser. But here it's not Ischazik Yisura. There's no definite Isser. He wrote explicitly Isha. a woman. She saw achar b'dikasa sheretz that you find after checked a creepy clothing on the line, which can be seen by the naked eye, called chomet, whatever chomet is. Also, chomet b'dikasa can't eat from her checking. Lim tu ela toloim hamatlim b'soch halim. If you only find worms, which become wormy within the leaves, which you can't see until after they're cooked. From her checking a kalashano. Harema for it is explicit. Shanosh women are believed. Now it's true. Even here it says big kiddush. Possibly see it's here. It's also only it's a rabbanim. No, it's only leave the little bit because the worms are negated by 60 in the pot. Beer, I feel bad bottle. Hi, you'll tell me a beer, a complete creature is not bottle even 1,000. That itself is into rabbanon. Can have a chometz mehemne. So by chometz are believed apatirchi seira, even though there's a lot of evidence to do rabbanon. When it's as one of them up, yeah, that money's gonna come. Why should believe all here as well? People got him name that's good. All that one of the only wrote. I saw a chushmeid she's yoser. Oh, Baruch Shekibati das Gedolim the crazy of Placey. You understand? Aishas. The as a chushmeid now our senses testify. She yesh yoser me'anoshim shenichbasim let's say men are more likely to do things chap plop because they're rushing out to their business. Become conquest of lechem u'v'shlam yesh yismoch alein. I skipped. I skipped the line. That's all the important line. The Chol made Sheish Yoseli Smacha B'dikas Noshim. We should rely more on women who Shemainos Habei Yoser. They carefully can check much more men Noshim much more than men who are out to go to their businesses. So already in the early 1700s, Rabbi Yosef was saying the Ishtana Hateva. Mikol Navas Kosav Lechom Mevusholim Esmach Aleim. To eat from raised stuff already cooked, you got to rely on your wife, and that's that. The women. But to eat raw vegetables, she'll yourself. Ayin Shum. See them every time. Not because you're more trustworthy, but you can check yourself. Check it yourself. Pay base. Because over on Tome. At the core, in the core issue, I'm astounded. I can say our women would be lenient in these touring because of the toil. Hello, so it says we see that they are much more tarech in all prohibitions than men. That's it says you wouldn't believe it's the Raisa. It's not because they're making these surim. It's like the Rashba book. Because chametz, because chametz you have to get down and dirty in the whole nooks and crannies. Nashim atzalos hein, and women are not excited to do that. They're loath to get down and dirty. Meimer Amrei, they say chametz and talking like that. There's no chametz in the whole nooks and crannies. Also by tchum, you need to be very well trained or conversant. The doctor Makida Ribua to know when you can when you have to absorb the mountain in the by triangulation, or when you have to square things off. Avla and when tchumim are moved by each other, they overlap. They believe the dim to do the top. Maybe they make a mistake in the calculations. I'll show Moses Mishena Bucky. They says somebody who's not Bucky himself. The Torah made a mistake. For Haba Alma, but anything else, if it's the right man, they believe in the Rises. Ma'asim B'chol Yom, it happens every day. Show the some kind of rely on them. Nikur Agid. Wow, the women used to trade with the meat. For Chalavim, remove the forbidden fat, some licha and salting. Probably shame me the rice. You don't do rice. But Nikur Bosa Tzarch Tirchi is there. It's very difficult to trade her. They know there's the stuff they have to really dig down into, and they check very well. As long as they know the prohibition above, I feel my tear even there's a lot of toil. They're not going to let it go without properly checking. Sorry about that. Let's go back online. The man we've learned from the let's begin the the Rashba. Yeah, no matter midvarav, shekol yishul dos yesh kan isra. The only thing is the isra. Feeling mitircham ruba. Even there is la tircha lo yanichum miyadan. Not going to relinquish the issue below b'dicha yafa without checking very carefully. Because chokas beis your kidneys. Checking vegetables, fruit, and beans. Hello yodosh mugzokin them as low. They know that they are assumed to have worms. So bokas yafa they check very well. Blow down breast dogim to mitorim. It's not comparable to selecting tame fish out of a Torah fish. The answer over, however, between this is not something which is a constant chore which women have accepted upon themselves. So it's only occasional. And they're not conversant with this. They don't know, they don't understand. That's a little son. He might assume to be lenient because of this laziness. So that's very. This psychology issue is dubious to me. That we know their psychology is diligent in some things and lacks in other things. But okay, could be. I don't know. I understand women more than the Arukh HaShulchan did, so therefore we'll have to assume that there's what he's saying has grounds. Things happen every day, every year. The double overtain is something which is constant. You don't know everybody. They release it without doing good, intensive checking. We never heard even of the great tzaddikim and goinim. They weren't relying on their wives to check for bugs. Of those and so to women who are employees. The Ba'abais knows that she's God-fearing, and meticulous about prohibitions. You shouldn't rely on her herself. You're about smoke. And you should check oversee herself. He has no other woman to do it, or his wife is not at home. Or to ask a woman who's more reliable. That you should check over how this girl is doing in her on-the-job training. Pegimel, Teva Advash, the nature of honey, is to preserve things which are embedded in it for a long time. So how we say that fruit which normally comes wormy is okay after 12 months. Any creature which doesn't have a bone doesn't have to 12 months. If that fruit is fried in honey, or just left preserved in honey, all bets are off. Also after 12 months. Because the honey preserves it. So that's only the thing is whole. The things are cut. Another story could fall into the honey. The honey destroys them. But when it says Vash turns the thing into honey itself. The beer is not complete. It's been masturbated when it's been cooked. Nevertheless, it has prohibition of birya because even though it's mashed up a bit, it's not completely disintegrated. As we shall see. If it's preserved in honey, it's still mutter. Because honey destroys it. It's pretty much the linear sherets, also the ramification is for sherets. These surah because is the size of lentil. Because it's in kuvadal. When it's in honey, butter, it's negated. Near the Zman Muad Michalel son, it seems that they very quickly they get the honey, I guess it's acidic or whatever it is, destroys them. No down commas, but it says also we don't know how much time it takes. Nevertheless, you have to check into that. Paid out, Vashanov Lubol in the molly, honey into which ants fell. Yechameno Beish. Heat up on fire, achanitach, until it's liquid, molten. It's on there and strain it. The aim about Isser Chatzil, you're not being negating Isser deliberately. She'en Kamel Sabato, I have mind to negate the Isser, I'm talking as much with the fixed honey. Those say the same, but the average quantity of Isser, it's only after Isser already got mixed in. I've arrived with Chatzila or Vatlo, that's literally mixed it in. And negate the time of the taste. Mitam should come also because he's only doing it to prove the taste of the thing which he's doing. Misha say yash, such as somebody who makes intoxicating beverages, sheikh or beer. Mason Shambas or Shay puts in their treif meat, laving reels to sap some of the bitterness. Bachar Mashlich Abbas Lachutz. He tossed the meat out. By the time the Nisha Sham Meus and the taste of the meat which lingers diminishes the bitterness. V'yeshu shekneged Abbas and the 60 corresponding to the meat. V'rak Isur Mishum she'en Ba'al Isur. The whole prohibition is only in Ba'al Isur. Chet Chila can liberally negate a prohibition. Keban should be saying, I'm also about to tell him, I used to mind to negate the taste of this. But to diminish the bitterness, Hayash of the alcoholic beverage, Vashech or the beer, say anything similar should be okay. Nevertheless, not us to do it. Like Shekvar is enough al Sham, like this already fell there. Madvash, Shalom Mine, like the honey which ants fell. Mutter, it's for this reason. She'en Kamos about the Isser doesn't have mind to negate the Isser. A real Asos came but liberally to do this is awesome. Okay, but different timing. These are logical words. I have to clarify that ain't also el b'shenois and Isser lehedja. It's only also when you put in an actual Isser. Something that doesn't have an Isser. Ka'es now, so you put milk into the honey. It's into the alcohol beverage. That's a garment. Just if you drink it with meat, you're going to be a vatal isur chatchila. So you have to shas ma'aser. You're negating the isur. That's the problem. Not if as a result of what you're doing now, you're going to be negating an isur later on. That's not a problem. The came to know some pairs of flame. So if you put wormy fruit into the alcoholic beverage, came and ain't ikar nesina satala. Ain't ikar nesina hatalas elaperi. You're not trying to put in the fruit, but rather the worm, but rather the fruit. Kanki mutter, it's supposed to be derech zeh aim called varim, and anything similar. It's been a sure, August no Yehuda, V'loyad, so tight, and we understand him. The mice, and sometimes, as we all know, in Mexico, sometimes put worms into tequila. Worms in tequila are no good because obviously they do it for the taste of the worm. Then that tequila would be awesome.